Hey everyone, welcome to another Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a world that touches pretty much everything we buy, eat, and use. It's the incredibly complex, yet absolutely fascinating world of modern logistics. We're going to look at the invisible engine that powers how packages actually get to your door, which is AI route optimization. Okay, let's dive into this.
Right off the bat, we need to confront a really common misconception. You know, when most people hear the word routing, they immediately think of punching an address into their phone and getting turn-by-turn directions. But as you'll see today, running a modern delivery fleet requires far, far more than basic navigation. Think of it this way. Google Maps gets you from A to B. AI routing, it manages the entire alphabet all at once while the letters just keep moving around.
Here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll be hitting the Logistics Routing Challenge, what AI route optimization is, the 5-step AI workflow, why human dispatchers still matter, real-world industry use cases, and finally, is your delivery team ready?
Let's start with Section 1, the Logistics Routing Challenge, Managing the Chaos.
I want you to picture a typical morning for a dispatcher. You've got dozens of vehicles, hundreds of stops, and thousands of variables to juggle. Your real challenge isn't just finding roads. It's like a giant puzzle where you are constantly balancing conflicting constraints. One customer absolutely needs a delivery before noon, while another vehicle is totally maxed out on weight capacity. And then, out of nowhere, a road closure pops up. The reality is, a static, manual route plan that looks perfectly efficient at 8 a.m. might literally be useless by 10:30 a.m. There are just way too many variables for a human to calculate perfectly on the fly.
That brings us to Section 2. What is AI route optimization beyond navigation?
And this brilliantly illustrates the core difference we're talking about. Basic GPS navigation is totally about the individual. It just asks, how does this one driver get to this one location? But AI route optimization is about the entire fleet. It asks massive fleet-level operational questions, like which driver should handle which stops? What sequence protects our delivery windows? How should the whole plan shift when a driver gets a flat tire? It's not just a simple map upgrade. It is a highly dynamic decision-making engine.
So let's nail down our definition here. AI route optimization is a logistics process that leverages artificial intelligence, real-time conditions, and historical performance to continuously plan, adjust, and improve routes. Notice I said process, right? Not just a piece of software. It looks at the whole operation to make proactive trade-offs. Actually, sometimes the AI will intentionally choose a longer physical distance if it means hitting a VIP customer's time window or avoiding a known historical traffic bottleneck.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds into an actual system, the 5-step AI workflow, the engine.
AI routing is basically a continuous operational loop, which is perfectly captured by these 5 steps. First up, it collects incredibly detailed inputs. We're talking orders, vehicle capacities, driver schedules, the whole shebang. Second, the AI generates optimized plans, balancing all those complex trade-offs we just talked about. Third, those plans are dispatched cleanly straight to the driver's mobile devices. Fourth, and this is absolutely crucial, the system re-optimizes live during the day as conditions change. And finally, step 5, it learns. It looks back at the actual route performance to make tomorrow's estimates even sharper.
To put that into perspective, let's look at how a day actually plays out. At 8 a.m., the AI provides the optimal pre-dispatch plan. But by 1 p.m., let's say a driver gets delayed or a super urgent new order drops into the system. Instead of the dispatcher frantically rearranging spreadsheets, the AI runs the math instantly and suggests live re-optimization to protect those crucial delivery windows. Then, at 6 p.m., the system reviews what actually happened versus what was planned. Did a specific apartment complex take 20 minutes instead of 5? Well, the AI learns that for tomorrow. It just adapts dynamically.
Which brings us to a really fascinating twist in Section 4, why human dispatchers still matter, the human in the loop.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how perfectly it defines the partnership between human and machine. You can see the AI is absolutely perfect for calculating massive numbers of stop sequences and predicting ETAs, basically all the heavy math. But humans must still approve changes that impact major customer promises or driver workload. If a route looks perfectly mathematically efficient but forces a driver to skip their lunch break, the human steps in and overrides it. In situations involving hazardous materials or severe weather, those always escalate to human judgment for sure.
The absolute biggest takeaway here? AI does not steal the dispatcher's job. No way. It actually elevates it. It shifts their role from manually dragging and dropping hundreds of stops on a screen to supervising a highly intelligent system, managing the exceptions, and making really nuanced business decisions. It creates this powerful partnership between complex data processing and invaluable real-world human intuition.
All right, let's ground all this theory in reality with Section 5, Real-World Industry Use Cases, seeing it in action.
100 million? I mean, that is a massive number. This represents the famous UPS Orion system, which is one of the earliest and frankly most staggering examples of AI route optimization. By optimizing massive amounts of fleet data, UPS estimated their system saved roughly 100 million miles driven per year. And get this, that translates to an estimated 10 million gallons of fuel saved annually. That is the raw financial and environmental power of getting route optimization right at scale.
But you know, it's not just for the massive global giants. Take a look at this real-world example from a last-mile delivery company called Net Zero Logistics. By adopting dynamic AI routing, they literally cut their routes in half, going from 30 to 40 daily manual routes down to just 16 to 20 highly optimized ones. They radically shrank their operational footprint, their fuel costs, and their vehicle wear and tear, all while maintaining their delivery capacity, a real game changer.
And remember how I said earlier that the shortest route isn't always the best route? Well, think about grocery delivery. If you're delivering ice cream, a route that is 2 miles shorter but takes 30 minutes longer sitting in traffic is a complete disaster. The AI knows that the quote-unquote best route is the one that protects the frozen food freshness and the customer's specific delivery window, even if it means the van drives a slightly longer physical distance.
Okay, let's pivot to some practical application in our final section. Number 6. Is your delivery team ready? The reality check.
So the crucial point is this. You shouldn't just buy an AI system because it sounds futuristic and cool. You need to use the CLEAR framework to assess your operational maturity. C is for complexity. Do you actually have enough stops and variables to even need AI? L is for live conditions. Do sudden traffic jams or urgent orders regularly disrupt your day? E is for evidence. Do you have baseline KPIs to even measure if you're improving? A is for adoption. Will your drivers actually use the app on the road? And R is for reliable data, which actually brings me to a huge warning.
If you feed an AI garbage data, it will confidently generate a perfectly optimized, incredibly efficient, completely terrible plan. It's that simple. If your addresses are wrong, if your vehicle weight limits are outdated in the system, or if you just don't input customer time windows properly, the AI will fail. The system is literally only as smart as the data foundation you build for it.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to ask yourself. Is your manual routing process the real bottleneck holding your business back? If your dispatchers are completely overwhelmed, your ETAs are always inaccurate, and your drivers are frustrated, the answer is probably yes. It might just be time to stop navigating and start optimizing. I really hope this explainer sheds some light on the incredible intelligence running behind the scenes of every package delivered to your door. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.